Morning. It is 9 a.m. right here on Jocks. Going to discuss Alabama-Auburn in basketball here in just a few moments. JocksFM.com. Search Jocks945 in your app store or on YouTube to go get the app, which will direct you to YouTube. You can watch us live each and every day. Multiple ways to tune in. Get a sweetheart of a deal this February at Royal Automotive in Vestavia. The Valentine's Day Sierra Savings event on out Royal Buick GMC. Get up to $13,250 off new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 trucks for a limited time, featuring best-in-class standard crew cab, front head, and leg room, plus all the info you need on the road at a glance. It's going to be love at first sight when you test drive your new Sierra this month. Or if you've got your heart set on an SUV, look no further than a new 2026 Buick Enclave. Get up to $6,000 off 3 rows of luxury and tech with tons of cargo space and features like Bose Surround Standard. Ask the Royal sales team for all the details on these and other eye-catching offers on now. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills, Royal Certified Pre-Owned Automart are all at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. Browse hundreds of models online anytime at royalautomotive.net. And remember, for every ride, there's Royal. Chris Stewart joining us now. He'll be doing the Alabama broadcast on radio for Alabama at Auburn on the basketball court this weekend. What have you seen this Alabama basketball team grow into, change into with the re-addition of Charles Bediako, Chris?
You know, I think part of the problem, Cole, is that they're trying to figure out exactly what that is. Now, look, you've got more options and flexibility because Charles's skill set is obvious. Great shot blocker, physical presence inside, a guy who can score the basketball at the rim. Didn't shoot it well the other night, but he's gotten to be a lot better free throw shooter than when he was with us before. So, he provides a lot individually, but the depth that you get, the options for different looks. Now, granted, we're sitting here 2-2, so it's not like it's been, in terms of results, it's not exactly been transformational, but I think it's allowed Alabama to be far more competitive. The Florida game notwithstanding, that was not Charles' fault. That was a collective effort to wind up losing that one by 23. But you're able to play 2 bigs, legit bigs, and experienced guys as well. Or when you have foul issues and you have the desire to go with 4 guards, you can have one or the other, either Aiden or Chuck, as a rim protector and as a threat, scoring the basketball. So I think it's just giving you options for more looks, more depth, more experience, and a guy that doesn't disrupt the locker room in any way, shape, form, or fashion because of the quality of person that he is.
Absolutely. Chris Stewart joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking Alabama at Auburn in men's basketball this weekend. Is there a particular threat Alabama has to be most cautious of for this Auburn basketball team this weekend? And that could be offensively, defensively, maybe even schematically, something that they have to be careful of to be able to try and go assure them a win in one of the more difficult places to play in college basketball.
You know, Cole, I'm not sure that, a year ago, the last couple of years, you'd said, you can't let Janai Broome get the ball in the post. You can't, you may have been as specific as that. And Auburn is really, really good. They've got a bunch of really talented players. They're big at the guard slot this year, and I think a little more physical there, perhaps, than they've been. But to me, the thing is the biggest concern is more so along the lines of letting Auburn get on a roll and that crowd become what we know that crowd can become. And they'll be loud from the start, don't get me wrong. But if they've got something to feast on, and it gets like it did against Florida, then you could have a result like Florida. But if you're able to take care of the basketball and not allow what Auburn does and the pressure they can put on you defensively to to be as devastating as it was against Florida, then I think it's a good matchup. But if you're sloppy with a basketball, it and you get out, you lose the turnover battle 18-2, and you lose the points off turnovers 25-0. You're going to have the result like you had in that game down in Gainesville a week ago as well.
What do you think coaches actually try to do to sort of, I guess, minimize that when you reference keeping a crowd out of a game, taking a crowd out of a game? I think from a football perspective, we would say, hey, if you can go out there and establish the run early and we can put an emphasis on the run game, that sort of slows the game down a little bit. Obviously, keeps their offense off the field, limits big plays, works some clock, crowd gets a little bored, maybe people start to sit down. What can, in hoops, what is the translation to that from a basketball perspective?
Yeah, and I know you know this because you've seen us plenty, and you know Nate Oates. It's that's not in the DNA to slow it down. I think there's a difference though in playing fast and playing rushed, and you don't want your tempo to be a negative. You want it to be a positive and something that creates issues for the other side. And that was, overall, they did a much better job against Texas A&M than they did Florida of playing to tempo, but being strong with the basketball. It's not so much. It involves passes, but it involves also when you're being defended, you got to be strong with the ball. And Bama did a much better job against Texas A&M, which puts more pressure on you than Florida does. I mean, with what Bucky does, it's truly 94 feet, and they're going to get after you and make it really, really tough. And Auburn will defend you very tough, much like Florida. It's just not, the same type of tempo. I think Alabama's got to play to their pace, play to their speed, but they've also got to make sure that they are smart with a basketball and don't get sloppy with it, or that's going to be a recipe for a really, really tough day.
What does the perimeter game look like from a matchup perspective here? Auburn, I think at times has had solid perimeter defense. It's been a bit of a letdown at other times. Why could that be an advantage or disadvantage for Nate and his group?
It's a good question, but I think if you are able to keep Pettiford on the perimeter and not let him get to the rim, that'll be major for Alabama. I think Alabama's ability to share the ball and not have it stick one spot, Baron Philon had a great game the other night, but he didn't have to go and have 24, 25 points for Alabama to be successful and for him to be impactful in that game. I'll tell you one thing that I want to see, and this goes to your question, but it's more of a general thing, I guess. Aiden Holloway needs to just go play basketball. I think he's pressed a little bit in a couple of trips down there, which is natural. I mean, it's understandable. Former team, former building, everybody's on you. It's all spotlight on you when you got the ball, and their expectations, for you to succeed or fail, depending on which side you're looking at it from. And I think if he just goes and plays and relaxes and doesn't get caught up in where he's playing in the environment around him and has the type of game that he's had as of late, then, and really for the majority of the season, I think Alabama will be fine in that regard. And when I say fine, that doesn't mean that this is something you take for granted by any stretch. It's a terrific Auburn team that can obviously play as good as anybody in the league when they're at their best. We learned that in Gainesville just a couple of weeks ago. And they're the ones that ticked off Florida and got them playing like they're playing right now because it made them refocus. But this is a game that Alabama can match up well with if they take care of their own business.
It really feels like everything you described with kind of how Nate could potentially call this game or wants this game to go or kind of wants to try to direct this game, that Holloway kind of epitomizes that in this game. Like if he gets going, Like that could neutralize the crowd even faster. I feel like if he were to struggle early, like you said, give them, a little bit of something to get into, give them a little bit extra juice. Like he could provide that to the nth degree for that crowd specifically. Like it feels like he might have an even bigger role here because of how much he could sway just the environment, Chris, because of what that entire situation is.
Oh, he doesn't have to have 15 first half points. He just can't have 4 turnovers in the first
Yeah,
half.
he
That's the
hits
bigger key
one
for
three
him.
and doesn't do anything to disrupt or hurt his team. I think that's enough. I mean, right there.
Penetrate, pitch, you know, 6 points and 3 or 4 assists with no more than 2 turnovers. Then I think at halftime you're probably in a better spot than you'd be otherwise. I'm not going to say you're guaranteed of success, but that stat line to me is bigger than him having 12 or 14 points going into the locker room.
Yeah, no doubt. I brought this up when this all came about, this Charles Bediako situation, and everybody wanted to talk about, obviously legally what it was and the court situation and then the eligibility situation. The thing that was most intriguing to me, Chris, was what this would do to the locker room. Because number one, what does Alabama have on their roster? 14, 15 players? And you're looking at
Walk on maybe.
Well, yeah, like 9 of them really play, maybe fewer when you're talking about legitimate minutes. So you're a little closer knit group. It's a more intimate setting. Somebody's minutes were being subtracted, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's a better player, different player, help you in different ways. Like that's your guys' minutes that you went through workouts together, you went through off season together, you went to the lake and rode the tubes together. Like you went out with, you hung out with, you had meals with. Those minutes were going to disappear for somebody. Do you have any feel as to just how that part of this has gone?
I don't think that's been an issue, and it goes back to what I brought up earlier, talking about Charles. Everybody loves him. Great guy. Whether you've known him for several years, as Nate has, and maybe a couple of the guys on the roster have, or if you just met him a week and a half ago, this is a really good guy who's very humble, who's very team oriented. He's not a guy that's got to get the offense doesn't run through him. It's not a guy that's got to get his shots. And what he does is so different from what almost anybody else on the roster gives you. I mean, now I say that, and Aiden Sherrill is one of the top blockers in the country, but he's only become that this year. That's not who he's been. But Charles gives you another option and another rim protector if they're both on the floor or if Aiden's out and Charles is in. So who Charles is makes the biggest difference in that. The other piece is, we've been beat up, banged up. Nate hasn't had his full roster available. He only played 8 guys the other day, and that's by far the fewest. And he said a lot of that was dictated by the fact that you only needed to play 2 bigs. That took Noah Williamson's minutes a good bit, but Noah's style is not that of Charles. He's a big, but he's more of a perimeter type player. Even though he can do some things at the rim, he is more of an outside guy, despite the fact he's around 6'11", and he doesn't have the verticality that Charles has. So it's not a clear substitute. They're different players, is my point. Even though they may look similar on the roster, if you're just looking at height and all that. Keaton Bristow has been out. Don't know if we're going to get him back this year. So that's a guy that would have played big minutes, but not available. We also haven't had Taylor Bowen much in the last 2 weeks because of injury. Another 6'10", 6'11", or 6'9", 6'10" guy that, long wingspan. So Bediako's arrival, frankly, comes at a fantastic time because it's not taking many minutes from anybody. And also, again, his style, what he does, there's nobody else that can do what he does. So it's a very different vibe, I think, for him to come in and guys understand, we're better with him in the minutes that he's getting. You've had a lot of guys that had to play minutes in somewhat out of spot or out of position. I think everybody's a lot more comfortable with where they're playing when they do get on the floor.
It's an interesting thought. All right. Well, we'll be listening to you on the call. We appreciate your time stopping by to share some feedback on how you think this game goes, and all the best in the future. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Anytime, buddy. Always good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Chris Stewart with the Crimson Tide Sports Network. He'll be on the call for Alabama at Auburn, 3 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN2. Alabama 15-7, Auburn 14-8. That environment will be big. That Aiden Holloway part of that is really interesting. And I think part of that, John, is you have so many of the Auburn fans, don't blame them, I get it, I think I'd probably be the same way, that are so on edge to root against him individually. I mean,
right.
This team in general,
Mm-hmm.
you're rooting against them no matter what. You want, I mean, this is one that you go in probably rooting more against than you do for a lot of people. And it's fine. This Nationals makes a rivalry great. But then you bring him into the equation. He gives you 2 or 3 misses or gets a shot blocked or turns the ball over 2-3 times in the first half and doesn't have an impact. Man, that place, the top comes off.
It'll light up even more. Yeah.
He goes out there, gets a steal, breakaway, layup, hits 1 of 3 from 3, doesn't turn the ball over like Chris said. I'm not saying the crowd goes away, but that does go a long way in not allowing them to completely go bonkers.
No,
the lid stays on, so to speak.
It silences them more quickly than any other kind of.
And maybe not even
would.
silence is what you need. It's just don't let
Lessons,
them erupt. And that's when that place comes just deafening and makes it extremely difficult for other teams to operate. So it'll be a fun game. I'm excited to watch it. I've already talked to the boys about it, so we'll be tuned in watching it. The arena will be loud. It will be. The jungle's going to be on fire. We know that, and it's going to be a fun one to watch this weekend. If you're looking for a new place to watch it, not necessarily out in public, but maybe a new home, you should probably call the Gusty Goulas Group. Gusty Goulas Group has served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. That's why they're best suited to help you find a new place to live. Now, listen, most agents, they start marketing after you list with them. Not Gusty. He's not doing that. Gusty Goulas Group served more than 3,000 home buyers for a reason, because they told their friends, like I'm telling you, like my family's had experiences with the Gusty Goulas Group. They helped my mom get into a new home, helped her get top dollar for her previous home, and since 2012, recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold. Over 855-star Google reviews. Just go Google them today, Gusty Goulas Group. GustyGoulasGroup.com, or call 205-542-1996 today and start packing. All right, we'll move on from basketball, more on college football. Some big things that have happened in the last 24 hours we need to discuss. We'll do it right after this on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. GMAC is off to speak to the Alabama football team today, so he will not be with us the rest of the show. Just John Saber and I taking you home. We mentioned the menu for Super Bowl Sunday a little earlier. Is there anything specific that you have for this game or will have different for this year?
Chicken wings.
You have to have wings for?
We've been doing that at home the last couple of years. We typically will go out buy it like the weekend before because, if you try and buy it now, surge pricing or whatever. So, we make sure we have a sizable bag. And it's actually interesting this year. And, gosh, I know now why those Progressive You've Becoming Your Parents commercials hit home because I'm actually excited because we had to buy a new oven at Thanksgiving because ours died. And it's got an air fryer function. So I'm actually excited to try that.
Oh, okay.
Normally, we throw it in the air fryer, but it can only hold so many, so you're doing, multiple batches.
Right.
But this one, it's the whole oven. So it's like, oh, we could have, 3-4 trays going at once and basically make the whole bag. So that's a bit exciting. But, yeah, I do feel like my parents right now may be wearing some mall walking shoes right now, like in them commercials, being excited about my oven.
What's wrong with mall walking shoes?
Nothing, but, let me take that back. In our 40s, nothing. If you were to ask Cole Cubelic in his 20s about those, would you have?
Maybe 30s even.
Okay.
But giving up on that. I will say, the Nike Vomero Premium, I don't know if that's considered a mall walking shoe or not, but it is the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn in my life, and you need a pair. Pete Moss tweets in, the rise of what is now a spectacle was driven by the cool commercials and awesome halftime. Parts that were disregarded were the drawn, even though a lot of the games were blowouts. The early release of the commercial stinks, and the commercials aren't great now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Well, I think one is if you go to when this started, as he's saying, when do we credit, what era do you credit the rise of the Super Bowl? Late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere in there.
Let me ask you this. If you think commercials, you can have multiple. What commercials do you think about as to when this started to take off? I have one, not even commercial, but ad campaign in mind of when this started to really skyrocket.
I remember paying attention to them in high school. I can't give you a specific ad campaign, but that's when I was like, oh, yeah, the commercials were fun, too.
The Bud Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
We had beer bottles playing football against each other. And, we cared who won.
Yep.
And they drew it out.
Yeah.
And then it got done with the frogs.
Okay. Yeah, no.
And the waza.
Yeah.
Not even going to do it.
Best. Yeah.
I remember the Pepsi campaigns, Cindy Crawford and Pepsi machine.
Yeah.
That's when it kind of started. Some of the Doritos stuff. That's when I feel like it kind of started to really take off. The problem here with Pete's thought is there were a lot fewer commercials then.
Correct.
So you had fewer to choose from to say they're good, bad, they're not good anymore, whatever. So now, then you had probably, and also I would imagine, fewer companies willing to spend the money to gobble up that space.
Or wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't that as expensive. I know prices have gone up, but they weren't paying that much more of a premium.
Well, I think then there was still the premium. It's just that how many companies were spending that kind of money on advertising then? Now take all the digital aspects that you have, all the tech companies that you have that are willing to spend that kind of money on ads. Then it felt like it was food, beer, cars.
The same stuff, yeah.
And then you'd get GoDaddy.com once every 5 years.
Pets.com occasionally,
Just for Feet's going to have a Super Bowl ad?
Yeah.
Yes, and then they're going to go out of business.
Oh, well, that seemed wise.
Well, Harold shouldn't have yelled at me when I was in the stock room. Okay?
That's
you
what
should have come up with more than 470 songs to be on your playlist.
They have Michael Jordan at the gallery. What are you talking about?
Okay, great. Go shoot some hoops. Listen to the exact same playlist that Bell Bottoms had every Saturday night. Okay, didn't need it. Didn't need that. Should have get 3 or 4 more new songs, and you'd been fine. You'd have been fine. And maybe their 10th pair is free. Shouldn't have been such a ruse. So,
not that you're bitter or anything. You're holding on to it still.
I'm handing you the reality of
pointing out what
is.
happened. Okay. All right.
No one thought it was going to be the average of the other 9 pairs of shoes that you purchased. You told me 10 was free. Now, maybe some people respond to that and say you should have read the fine print. which is also fair.
But fine print wasn't on the commercial.
I don't feel like there was as many ads back then, and there weren't that many companies that were willing to play in this space. Now there are.
It not unlike the halftime show, NFL realized, oh, if we put effort and put stuff into this, people will continue to stay and not want to change away. I know the whole halftime show became a thing because in Living Color in the 90s, they urged people to tune away from it. And then after that, what did the NFL do? They brought in Michael Jackson. And so since then, for the most part, if you go back and look, they kind of waned a little bit. But since then, they made it a spectacle because companies realized, oh, if I put a really, really good commercial in, that's going to get a whole bunch of eyeballs on it. The NFL's like, oh, well, yeah, then we'll allow more advertising space because we know that those advertisers will bring it, and therefore we can charge a premium. People started realizing that, oh, we've got this audience. Let's get them. Let's hook them. And then the NFL's like, bring it. Let's go.
What's great is that if you go through like the first 10 or 15 Super Bowls,
yeah,
it's literally collegiate bands that performed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How memorable are the halftime shows really? Or do we hype it up too much now to where it's just not going to live up to the expectation?
Well, this one will be interesting one way or the other, depending on how you fall. It will be memorable one way or the other, but I think not unlike what's happened with social media, it's tenor trash. How some people feel with it. And I think even still people...
we had that in studio last year.
Oh, yeah.
Greg hated it. Damien thought it was the greatest thing he'd ever seen.
Right.
Which happens 3 or 4 times a week. But not just for Super Bowl halftime shows, but I mean, Damien will give us the greatest ever of something.
Correct, yes.
Multiple times a week.
He's not helping the youngsters' cause here. But I feel like...
He literally came in, he goes, number 1! I was like, hold on a second now.
Yeah, come on now.
I'm not saying it wasn't good, but just wait.
Yeah.
Now, you can't just. What's crazy is when you go back and do a little homework on it, and it literally, obviously, used to have marching bands come out, but some of the acts that people talk about as great, it's no different than a concert. As in, it's just the band on a stage performing.
Yes.
And then they go off.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whereas now, like, you're turning the whole field into a city map.
It's a spectacle now.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And so to compare some to the others, it's even difficult in and of its own. Like Michael Jackson came out of the ground, or out of the stage and flew up, and it looked like he was going to fall. But
and as cool as that was, do you remember what he performed, or how many he performed? He performed like 4 songs.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And he wasn't even all over the place.
No.
So now they're from like goal line to goal line, sideline to sideline.
Yes.
They're on the roof, teleporting down somehow, whatever it is. Like it's different now. So I think some of those become even difficult to compare because of what they're even able to go out there and do in a single halftime now. But looking back on it, there's not a ton of them, John, that I look at and say, man, I'll never forget that one. That was unbelievable.
I don't think until really almost this century they realized what they had with that. I think with the Michael Jackson one, they were like, okay, someone came at us, and so we got to answer. And this is not me dumping on it, but what was the one they had after that? Again, you brought in Michael Jackson because, we lost a good chunk of the audience, so we're going to keep them with Michael Jackson. Okay, cool. Fully understandable. What did you roll with the one after that? Do you remember?
Well, went for a little bit of a different audience with
correct,
Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, and the Judds.
Mm-hmm. In Atlanta, no less. Rock and Country Sunday. That was
the South.
I mean, the South does have something to say, yes. Do you remember the one after that?
Well, I have the list. So do I remember it? Absolutely
right.
not.
Yeah, that's no. I know. I think that
did not remember Arturo Sandoval with the Miami Sound Machine and Patti LaBelle.
And
Indiana Jones, Marion Ravenwood, and Teddy Pendergrass, and Tony Bennett. That's a lot, by the way. That's like an MLB starting lineup.
Maybe MILB, but yeah.
Now, you brought in Diana Ross after that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually am impressed by the fact that you let the Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and John Belushi get up there with ZZ Top and threw in some James Brown for the next one.
Felt like they kind of had to at that point.
You talk about potential liability of not knowing where something was going to go. I mean, you couldn't get through interviews with CNN
No.
without knowing where that thing was going to go. Can you imagine the handlers about 30 minutes before that thing? Maybe not. Don't know. Possibly.
It felt like for a time they were not necessarily trying to make it a spectacle. It was, what's cool? What do people like? We'll just throw something in like that now.
Well, there was a short period of time here. It felt like, how many acts can we jam into one halftime? I mean, Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Tony Braxton, 80-person choir from Georgia State, Edward James Olmos, all together.
Uh-huh.
Because I do kind of remember that, because it was a so-and-so is going to perform. Oh, who do you think is going to show up with them?
Right. That's when that started. Because it was,
you can't carry a halftime show? And then you have circumstances like U2 in New Orleans, which was incredible, but obviously that had to be very different.
Right, because of,
like that wasn't them just going out just to entertain. That had to be something totally different. And it was awesome. It was 100%. And then maybe it became like, who are the two most random acts we can jam together? Like, we're going to take No Doubt and Shania Twain, and here we go. We're going to make sure both sides watch.
And just in case, why don't we bring in Sting?
Why not? We'll do that. We're gonna see if we can just take complete opposites and just roll them together. See how that goes.
Oh, so it worked for this one? You know what? Let's do it even more next year. Janet, Nelly, Kid Rock, Timberlake, Jessica Simpson, P. Diddy, all of them together.
You're literally covering all your bases.
Yeah.
How about Aerosmith with NSYNC?
What's not to like?
All of it.
We're going to get you one way or the other.
I feel like somebody in the back of the room was like, a little color wouldn't hurt. But okay, y'all do y'all. I mean, just an idea.
Who can we get? You know what? Is Mary J. Blige? Yeah, you know what? But what if the guys don't like it? How about Nelly? Genius, Johnson.
What do you learn more about the single act? What they mean to society or how good they are? I'll give you examples. Paul McCartney. Didn't need anybody.
No.
The Rolling Stones. Now, they've been jammed in with other people too.
Correct.
But you imagine the second time around, they were like, yeah, no. That sounds cool, but we're either doing this or we're not doing this. Take it or leave it. Prince.
You knew that wasn't going to happen with no one else.
Hey, we had a conversation with so-and-so's reps. Yeah, no. We're not even taking that to him.
Excuse me? Yeah.
We'll gladly bow out if you would like to add the other 17 people. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Springsteen and the E Street Band. You learn who has real clout maybe by the ones who haven't had other people jammed up on stage with them.
And I think some of that, because of what happened with Timberlake and Janet, we were like, we've got too many people out here. We can't trust. Just have McCartney and his piano. That's all we need. We know it can be good.
Yep. Don't need them all. Now, there are some people that are listed solo, like Lady Gaga, Coldplay, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, Beyonce, Madonna. I don't think they all did it by themselves.
No, they brought people in. They had we'll bring in Lenny Kravitz.
So what's the difference? They just weren't. It wasn't listed as that person with the other people.
Bruno Mars had the halftime show. He just chose to bring in Red Hot Chili Peppers. Madonna chose to bring in the Paper Planes, whatever that person, whatever. Like they chose to bring in someone else. But
so
no, technically,
technically, Bad Bunny has done this before.
Yes.
With Shakira and J-Lo. Did they co-headline?
Yes.
I don't remember any of that.
It was fine. I just thought it was funny that
like what's the nothing against them two. What's the best song collectively that they have?
Best or most popular? Because I think that's a different thing. Because am I out here jamming
Hips
the one
Don't
and two?
Lie? Is that literally the best song that those two could come up with?
That's the biggest. I don't know if that's the best.
Okay, give me the best.
I think that's again. You may be asking the wrong guy. Because are either one of these on the playlist? No. I'm not saying their music is awful. It ain't me.
What's Maroon 5's best song?
To me personally, it's Woman.
I would know them if I heard them. I don't know any of the names of their
Right.
songs.
They probably their biggest one is Moves Like Jagger. Right. I do like Harder to Breathe. The early stuff I thought was good. Then I'm like, oh, if we make watered down stuff, people will like us more. Let's do that. Oh, if I take my shirt off, people will like it. Let's do that.
I didn't realize that there had been so many repeat performers. Now, they weren't headliners.
No,
they have
was
made multiple appearances.
correct, yes.
Because Beyonce showed up with Coldplay.
And Bruno Mars.
And Mark Ronson.
Well,
and
yeah,
Gustavo Dudamel.
Yeah.
And the University of California Marching Band. And the Youth Orchestra of L.A.
It felt like, hey, we've got Coldplay on Super Bowl 50. I'm sorry, what? Oh, that's not enough? Okay, who do we just have?
Yeah, but we got to fill up the whole field.
Yeah.
I'll throw a marching band in there. Who has the biggest choir in L.A.? Okay, cool. Throw them out there. We'll get them going too. Yeah, I mean, we'll watch it, and it'll be cool. It'll be a spectacle. I go back to the original question here. Most memorable. How many of these that we've been bringing up, that we've been talking about, like the only reason I remember the Weeknd's performance is all the stupid mirrors.
Right.
That's all I remember about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
What can you tell me about Usher's?
He did it?
Yeah. Like 4 or 5 years ago.
I remember Rihanna's the stages went up.
Yeah,
That's all I remember.
Okay.
And I literally looked at my wife and said, "Is she pregnant?" What? Some looks different. I don't know.
Some.
So, I mean, like Kendrick Lamar's. I don't remember a whole lot from him, but I remember the set and what they did.
Yes.
And how cool that was. I mean, you literally turned the football field into streets of L.A.
Yep.
Like a map. It was unreal. So.
He's a repeat performer, too, because he was part of the West Coast one with Snoop and Dre and all that.
Didn't expect Samuel L. Jackson to show up.
No. It was Uncle Sam,
I was surprised how that went.
Yeah.
As in, didn't go a different direction.
Correct, right, yeah.
But hey.
Easily could have.
All right. So, Bad Bunny, your performer. I'm not even going to ask if people are looking forward to it.
That's probably best.
But you probably didn't know how many of those 8, 9, 10-year-old walk-up songs were Bad Bunny songs before you get too mad at it.
You may turn away, but others
you will recognize. I'll say this. For the people who are like, yeah, you will recognize multiple songs.
Absolutely.
You will. And it's not saying it's your song or you love it or you like it, but you will. Oh, I've heard that. Yeah. Because a lot of these instances, it's like, I don't know anything that person does. And you're like, oh, yeah, they do that?
Yep.
Yeah. It's like this AJR band or whatever they're all that's out right now. I can't name any of their songs, but when I hear 2 or 3 of them, I'm like, oh, that's them.
Correct, yes.
Is it AJR? Is that right?
Sure.
I'll find out during the break. More on that next. It was at AJR, right?
Yes.
So I'm a little bit hip.
Yeah.
I'm with a little bit of the times.
I don't know. They mentioned quinoa in the song, so.
Okay. They're different. They got a good vibe. I like them. Michael Kirby tweets in, I agree, Bud Bowl got it started. I'm trying to think if there was an ad campaign before that that's my first memory of like big Super Bowl commercials. And maybe it was because it was a lot of them.
I guess I was alive for it. I don't remember because I'm going to say I was 2, but I remember I've read about all the hype about the Apple, the Macintosh computer.
I don't remember
like
those.
That came out like the 1984 or whatever. Like it busted through. Like so many people have said like that was one. Like yeah, okay, we got that hit.
I mean, it used to be Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser,
right? Maybe
a chip company, and a car company would move in and do something.
But that was about
one of the car companies, and that was. Then we moved into like early 90s. Okay, who's going to be the outlier company that tries a Super Bowl ad?
Yeah.
Ooh, they spent that on that. And then we probably didn't hear about them very much.
Correct.
Anymore.
Like Radio Shack did not too long. Well, not too long. It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, rebrand Super Bowl ad, not
the best time.
Don't blow the budget on that one. That's not the best idea. Do you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Are we Terry Tate off as linebacker?
Did that start in the Super Bowl?
I want to say yes. I remember it from it. I don't know if it started that, but
I have no idea if that's when it first came about. I'm trying to think what was the Doritos one, like the first one?
The one that stands out is it was like a time machine one. Like the kid has like a time machine and runs on Doritos, and the guy goes in and the kid's like, "Oh, hey, things are going crazy," and then an old man walks by. Oh my gosh!
I was going to give you the reason I remembered the first Dorito one, but I'm not going to do that now.
Okay.
It's not fully appropriate.
Yeah, but I figured it's cool.
Trying to think of other ones. I mean, if we were going to go with a company that collectively has one Super Bowl advertising, I think I'd have to go Budweiser. As much as we hated the frogs, we remember it.
You remember the
Clydesdales?
Question mark.
We had a couple really good Clydesdales ones.
They go Tom Rinaldi
Pull
on
at the
us
heartstrings.
Yeah.
That can happen. They've gone funny. They've gone dumb. They've gone unique. They've gone emotional. Car companies have kind of tried to come around here recently. Volkswagen's had a couple good ones the last few years. Doritos has been pretty good.
They've been
on
steady,
a lot of years.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else has been sort of a newer mainstay, but nothing really comes to mind right now.
But they feel like what they're doing now, they've got to get a celebrity in because otherwise you won't be watching it.
You know who has disappeared from this game? The shoe companies.
Yeah.
Used to be big.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's, I don't know when the last time we saw a shoe ad in a Super Bowl. It's just not a real thing anymore. Shoe company advertising in general has gone away.
It's not about companies. It's
just put the guy's name on it, and the kids will figure it out.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, we don't need to do commercials on it.
Your boy has how many separate jerseys? It's all about that player that won. I don't know if it's Nike or whatever. Just
like he loves, like he had a pair of the John Morant's. He just got a pair of LeBrons. I don't want to talk about it. How times have changed. And I've never seen a John Morant advertisement via Nike.
That's probably for the best, but yeah.
Okay, that's not what I meant.
I know, but yes.
But my point is, it used to be we wanted Reebok pumps because we saw the commercial with D Brown.
Yes.
Or
Lil Penny.
Nobody knew LA Gear had catapults, but we saw the Karl Malone commercial.
Grandmama and Larry Johnson.
Would never consider buying a pair of Converse until we saw an old lady in a dress dunking on people. Until we saw Miss Doubtfire dunking on people. Well, a different Miss Doubtfire.
Right.
The other one. All right, weather's not warming up yet. Maybe next week. Another reason you might want to go see my friends at Noble Eagle Insulation. Extreme cold winter conditions create urgency. This is a Birmingham-based veteran-owned insulation company. If your home feels cold, drafty, if you have uneven temperatures in your home, Noble Eagle Insulation wants to help you out today. If you're suffering those high heating bills, it can be due to poor insulation. Let them come take a look, see what they can do for you. Doesn't have to be your entire home. It can be one small section of the home, and they can make a big difference with your bills. Reliable. The service is going to be great. They're going to be able to get out there quickly because they have a big team that knows how to attack these problems. They're going to protect what matters, your home, your family, your budget. Been in business since 2013, established and trusted. Call 205-490-2933 for Noble Eagle Insulation today, or visit nobleinsulation.com to see what they can do for you. Bad Box Score of the Day coming up next on Jocks. Now, this one was good a couple of years ago. I don't remember the product when they basically redid Back to the Future.
Uh-huh.
Was it Toyota?
That feels right, honestly.
I could be totally wrong there.
Who cares? Yeah.
I
remember the 8 something having to do with the spot. Yeah.
This song. I remember this song.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. All right. Listen, if you're trying to go back to the future, maybe you need to go to Game Day Men's Health. If you want to rewind a weight issue you're having or just feel like you're a little bit younger, if you lack energy, getting poor sleep, feel on edge, Game Day Men's Health can help you. Multiple weight loss programs, peptides they can help you with. They want to get you back feeling your best. They've done it for a lot of Jocks listeners. They can do it for you by going to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today and signing up for the free consultation. With that, free PSA test, free testosterone test. They give you your baseline health. They lay out the options they have they can help you with. Not going to try to push them on you. And keep in mind, this is different. Minimal upfront cost from the programs they offer. And when you choose one, mention Mac and Cube, you save 10% on all of it at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Go sign up for that free consultation today. We start with our Super Sofa Game of the Weekend. Not a difficult choice.
Not really, no.
Don't feel like there will be much debate on if you were given one game to watch this weekend, which one would you choose? Super Bowl, Sunday, NBC, and you can watch it on Peacock.
You can, in fact, yeah.
How would you even end up there?
Like some people don't want to pay for cable or stream or whatever, so
Makes
they
sense. Just have that.
Yeah.
Got it. 5:30.
Ish.
Seattle, New England. Very fair. If I were to give you the option, because everyone's going to go here.
Right.
Game, halftime, all commercials.
Okay.
You can watch one of the three. Which do you choose?
This year, honestly, I might go commercials because I don't have that much of a rooting interest in the game.
Ask Molly.
Molly? Commercials. She said the same.
You work at a sports station.
I can find out what happened. I can watch the YouTube real quick recap.
You can watch all the commercials, too.
Yeah, that'll take longer.
It would take a long time. I've tried it. I got to go game. I would watch the game. But obviously, the Super Bowl, John, that's our Super Sofa game of the week.
Yes, and you can get your Super Sofa and more at TD's Fine Furniture with over 100,000 square feet. They have plenty to choose from, plus they can buy in bulk and pass the savings and discounts on to you. They have options for every room in your house to fit your style and budget. That's TD's Fine Furniture in Summerton.
Let's get to our bad box scores quickly, plural, of the day. If you don't know them by now, you will, because I got a feeling they're going to continue to make appearances. The SUNY Adirondack at Fulton Montgomery
there's more.
Community College. No, these are two teams. You should know SUNY Adirondack. They are the
Aardvarks.
They're the Timberwolves.
I pay attention, I promise.
And they took on the Fulton Montgomery Community College.
They're the flag bearers.
Pirates.
Oh, okay. The same thing.
Once again, SUNY Adirondack stat person just didn't show up. I don't know what they did, but I will tell you this. Fulton Montgomery Community College won the game 114-17. It was 34-8 after one.
I'm sorry. Wow.
It was 57-11 at half. Fulton Montgomery Community College shot 51 of 102.
Oof. Okay. Hey,
they took 102 shots in a game.
Yeah. Well, look where they're playing.
Of their 51 misses, they had 28 rebounds.
Okay.
66 total rebounds. 31 steals in the game. Not to be outdone, Massasoit Community College lost to Holyoke Community College 2 nights ago, 106-20. 26-1 at the end of one.
What are we doing here? Okay.
53-6 at the half.
Wow.
Massiot, as you can imagine, their stat keeper also quit and did not provide anything to the box score. However, Holyoke shot 45 of 96 from the game. Johannes Andrades was 12 of 25 from the floor for 25 points. They shot 13 of 22 from the free throw line, just 3 of 12 from 3 to win 106-20. 57 rebounds, 26 assists, 28 steals in the game.
Whew.
Those are your bad box scores of the day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We're back Monday. 3-Man Front is next.